Hello everyone. This is Miss Fitz's science page or Miss Frizzle's science page. My name is Miss Fitzgerald, but the kids often call me Miss Fitz because Miss Fitzgerald is hard to say. And I have also been called Miss Frizzle. I have a lizard, naturally, and I'm a science teacher. So they call me whatever they want. Miss Frizzle, Miss Fushizzle, whatever. I'll answer in anything. So today I want to talk about macromolecules, and I want to put this video out there before you watch the coronavirus one because it'll make a little more sense maybe. And also macromolecules are really important for my physical science kids. It's important for us to understand how the atoms and molecules that we have been introduced to are forming together to create things for the body. And for all of you, it's important for biology next year for high school. So you will see this stuff again. So our topic for this video, I'm going to make this one short. This is macromolecules, okay? There are 4 types of macromolecules. How many types of macromolecules are there? 4. 4 types, right? So the 4 types of macromolecules are carbohydrates, lipids, amino acids, and nucleic acids. Okay? If you need to write that down, you might want to pause the video. It's only got 15 minutes. So, carbohydrates. Let's start there. So, carbohydrates or carbs, if you have ever heard anyone counting their carbs, that's what they're counting. They're counting their carbohydrates. It's a fancy word for sugar. There are a lot of different types of carbs, different types of sugars. And when atoms bond together, they release, so all matter is made out of atoms, right? And all atoms join together. And when atoms join together, they form molecules. And macromolecules, the word macro means big. Micro means small. Macro means big. So macromolecule means a big molecule. And carbohydrates, lipids, amino acids, and nucleic acids are all these molecules that are forming together to form big molecules. Okay, so that's why they're called macromolecules. For carbohydrates, so when these atoms bond together, they are connected. And when their connections are broken, that is when the energy from that is released into the cell. So, as humans and as endothermic animals, endothermic means we get our heat from the inside, we are able to create heat inside of our bodies by breaking the bonds of chemicals that we eat. Not all animals are able to do that. So if you're familiar with my Norbert, my lizard, he's ectothermic. So he has to rely on other things to give him heat. But we can produce metabolic heat, which is heat that comes from inside of our bodies. So, breaking bonds releases energy for our cells in heat. And carbohydrates are made out of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Hence the name carbohydrate, right? And I just I have a Cliff Bar here. And you're like, why are you talking about your Cliff Bar? So, if you look at, just grab some cereal out of your cabinet. So if you look at a Cliff Bar, you will see that it has total carbs on here, and it says total carbohydrates 14%, 41 grams. So that is how many carbohydrates are found in your food, right? The calories of this bar is 260. So that's how much calories is a measure of energy. So that's how much energy you're getting from this bar. Total fat, let's talk about fats. So lipids are fats. Like sugar, they're made out of carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Like sugar, they give us energy. Unlike sugar, they have more bonds and takes longer to break down. So what it results in is it's more sustained energy. So that's why that's why you store fat, because that is your supply that you're going to use if you run out of sugar. And if you eat a lot of sugar, if you eat a whole pack of Oreos, you know what's going to happen. It's going to give you tons of energy, and then you're going to crash because your body can break those bonds so quickly and so easily. but um, but then you're going to run out of energy, right? Lipids, however, because their bonds are doubled or tripled up, it takes your body a little bit longer to break that down. And what that results in is more sustained, longer energy, okay? So in this clip bar, I've got 7 grams of fat, which is pretty good. Saturated fat and trans fat, that's going into more detail. So those are like the different types of bonds that the fats have. Side note, since the other video is about coronavirus, I'll just mention it. Lipids, fats in your soap break down the skin of the coronavirus, which is why soap is effective against germs and viruses and bacteria, because they break down the membrane, okay, of the whatever's trying to hurt you. So lipids can be useful for that. So you don't have to use alcohol. You can just use fat to break stuff down, okay? Next one is amino acids. Probably never heard of these before. Amino acids, there's exactly 20 of them, okay? They form chains to create proteins. So proteins are important for lots of things, but lots of things. They perform basically all the jobs in your cell, well, a whole lot of them. And in order to do these jobs, you have to create these proteins. And to create these proteins, you put these amino acids together. And your DNA, this happens, the amino acids are assembled in the ribosome of your cells, okay? And your DNA is what tells your ribosomes how to build the protein chain, okay? So your DNA is in your nucleus. The RNA comes in there, reads the code, travels out of the nucleus. DNA doesn't go anywhere, stays right where it is. And then the RNA takes that code through all these little different processes, then it goes to the ribosome, and it says, hey, we want this here and this here and this here. It's putting the amino acids where it wants to put them to create the protein it wants to create, okay? And because everybody's DNA is different, everybody can create different kinds of proteins, but since we're all human, we all kind of create the same stuff, right? Nucleic acids are the last but not least. DNA and RNA, they form the components of genetic information. So if you've ever seen a strand of DNA, let me just draw one real quick. You're seeing a strand of DNA. It looks like called the double helix, okay? And this part right here is called the sugar phosphate backbone. It's made out of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and phosphorus, okay? Sugar phosphate backbone. And inside are the rungs of the ladder. So you're probably used to seeing those. Okay? The rungs of the ladder are nucleic acids. Okay? And there is, one of them will be on this side, one of them will be on this side. And A likes to pair with T. That's the symbols that they give. There's only 4 different types of nucleic acids. A, T, G, and C. Might want to write that down. Forgot to mention that. A, T, G, and C. A likes to pair with T, and G likes to pair with C. A pairs with T, and G pairs with C. A and T form a single bond, and G and C form a double bond. So what happens is that these nucleic acids assemble themselves in a way in your DNA to where they create a unique code to you, okay? So everybody's nucleic acid sequence is different, and it's different for every single person. So with the exception of identical twins, we all have different DNA. Without them, the cell could not operate. I mean, nothing can really operate without anything else, but your DNA is like running the show, right? So if you have any other issues or concerns about macromolecules and what that means or what you might need to know for school next year, please comment below and I will try to answer. And thank you for your time.